Hello friends, welcome to today's video. This was not actually a review I was planning on doing, but I have been enjoying this product so much that I wanted to share it with all of you. So you can tell from the title, this is going to be about home hair dye, but let me give you a little bit of the backstory here. I'm not somebody who has been doing hair dyeing at home in like over 10 years, I want to say. Maybe that's a bit much, but it's been many years. And part of the reason for that is my hair is probably about 50% gray at this point. And it just becomes harder to get like the right colors and do your roots properly and just have things work when your hair is, very gray. And also I was just finding the box colors I was trying to use weren't quite getting the right color that I wanted. It was going a little bit more into that like purpley red kind of area than I wanted. So after trying a number of different salons, I went like blonde at one point, and then finding a place that I love. I have been going there just for, I want to say probably like 5 years now, and I love it. If you are here in Ottawa, and you are looking for a salon that does amazing color as well as like amazing everything else, Lucas Nult is a great place to go. So I was perfectly fine continuing on there, going and getting my hair done there until, the world shut down and I couldn't get my hair done there. So I was having my hair really growing out. At the time, it was sort of like fading out to more of a blonde because they would do a beautiful sort of strawberry blonde on me that I loved. I'll throw some pictures in here too so you can sort of get an idea of what I'm talking about. But over the weeks becoming like multiple weeks and like a couple of months and on from there, and also I had not had it done recently before everything shut down. I was just really like, my gray was super growing out. The whole thing was just not looking good. So I knew that I wanted to, and it was sort of obvious that it was going to be a while before salons opened back up again in my area. So I know that box color at home can react badly with like professional color if you're not choosing the right stuff, because there's just some ingredients that can just make terrible things happen to your hair. And I knew that when I was able to go back to the salon again, I would want to. So again, like a big shout out to the salon that I go to. I instant messaged them on Instagram and sort of said like, I want to come back in, when I'm able to. But in the meantime, I really need to get my hair color done. What would you recommend to do that with? Because I figured that way they would recommend something that would work well and play well when I went back to the salon again. So that is a big long story to get into the product I want to tell you about. So the product is called Herbatint, and I will put a link down below to their website. Basically, everything about the experience of using this has been really good. So I've dyed my hair 3 times with it, and the next time, I think that's the last time, because the next time I'm actually going to make an appointment to go back into the salon in person. But let me tell you what I really like about this and what the experience was like. So I actually used a different color the first time than the next 2 times. And this is a leftover box from the first time that I bought it because I wasn't sure how much I was going to need. So the great thing about the Herbatint product is that it's very natural, but also really walks you through how to do the process at home. So let me pull up their website to tell you just a little bit about the product. So the company was actually founded and the product was developed in 1970 by their herbalist Michel Albergo, who focuses research on a coloring formula that could combine product efficacy with health and skincare, or hair and skincare, sorry, I should say. Thanks to his outstanding knowledge of medicinal herbs, starting from formulations based on herbal extracts, he progressively reduced the percentage of chemical ingredients, including hydrogen peroxide. So their permanent hair coloring contained herbal extracts without the use of ammonia and with a very low percentage of hydrogen peroxide. Their passion and knowledge of herbal properties were fused together to find the most natural alternative traditional chemical coloring. Due to its perfect coverage of gray hair since the first application and the wide selection of colors in accordance with hair structure, Herbatint is still today, after 40 years, the undisputed market leader of permanent coloring without ammonia. So it is an organic hair color, and the salon I go to also uses organic hair color, so I think the recommendation was that these would work together really well. But what I really enjoyed is you go onto the Herbatint website and it walks you through how to choose your hair coloring. and then how you're going to apply it. So the thing for me is that I have already colored hair, and then I was having grow out at the roots that also was a large percentage of it was gray. So for me, going through the process, I chose the color that I wanted. The first time I chose 7R Copper Blonde, but you actually don't choose it. It asks you like a whole list of questions. You go through this whole survey about like your natural hair color, what you want it to look like, you know, if it's been colored, how light it is, all of that. And it came out to recommending 7R Copper Blonde. Now, I since looked at the website, and after I did it the first time, I wish I had gone lighter. I think I next used 6R, which is like a, it's even lighter. What's the name of it? Sorry, after this one, I used 8R, which is light copper blonde, which is a little closer to the like strawberry blonde I would usually do. So you get one of these, or two of these actually, if you have hair as long as mine. And then you also get the corresponding blonde color with the same number at the start of it. So when I was using the copper blonde, which is 7R, I got 7N blonde, because basically you mix some of these to put on your roots first and let that sit before you pull just this color through the rest of your hair. And I was really nervous about this when I did it the first time, because I wasn't sure if I was going to get like weird blockiness, what it was going to be like, if I was going to be able to be very good at applying it. And to be honest, I have no idea what the back of my head looks like. Like, this is one of the things about doing this at home, which is why I'm going to go back to the salon again. But I was very impressed with how even the color looked and how red it came out. Now, the reason I said I ended up using a different one after that is I do think that I ended up dyeing my hair darker than I would have liked. My hair usually fades out to more of a blonde when the red goes away, and this was like a bit darker than that, so I wish I had stuck to a bit lighter. It's harder to pull darkness out of your hair than it is to go darker if it's too light. But basically all I did was follow their instructions for mixing the formulas for, you know, my regrowth. I just used a cheap old, like this was just a brush that came with some makeup kit that I cleaned off really well, and just used this to sort of paint it along my scalp, and then one of these sort of brushes to sort of like cut through the hair and pull it over so that I could get to all the pieces on my scalp. Once again, I probably did a terrible job at the back of my head. You let that sit for 40 minutes and then you put the rest of the color in, let it sit for 10 minutes. Yes, it does look like I murdered somebody in my bathroom because of how red all the dye is in the tub when I was like rinsing it all out. But I was so impressed not only with how even the color came out, even with my not very good application, but I was also really impressed with how long the red lasted for. Now I have been using, I think it's John Frieda, but basically sulfate-free shampoo and conditioner, which does also help my hair color last longer, and I don't shampoo super often. But I've been just super happy with how it's been looking. So all of this to say is that I am going to go back to the salon again, but if you are in a situation where you can't go to the salon or you want to do more home hair color, I would highly recommend this. Now, one of the other reasons that I will go back to the salon again is this isn't cheap. So for me, I have pretty long hair right now. And I also have pretty dense hair. Like usually when I go and get it done in a salon, if it's a new one I haven't been to and they don't know, they rarely mix up enough color for me because I just have like a lot of hair. Like it's fairly fine, but there's a lot of it. So for me, I need 1 bottle of the like blonde color that mixes to cover the roots and 2 bottles of the actual red color. Now the other thing is, at least here in Canada, you can't order it directly through the Herbatint website. The one place I found that I was able to order it from was off of iHerb, and each box was about $18 Canadian, plus there was some shipping costs. So for me to actually get all of this was about like $80, which is not that far off of what I would pay to go and get my color done by somebody who actually knew what they were doing and it was a relaxing experience instead of doing this at home. So it's not going to be the cheapest option unless you can find it somewhere cheaper than I did, but this is by far the best experience that I've had with home hair color, and since so many of us are spending our time at home right now, I did want to share that with you. So I hope this is helpful. One last thing I will mention, and you will see this if you choose to go to the Herbatint website and go through their whole thing, you can also mix different amounts of the product. So just the colors that they have there aren't necessarily the only colors you can get, because you are able to mix and combine them to be able to get the perfect shade that you want. So that is all from me. I hope this was helpful for you. If it is, please give this video a thumbs up, and I look forward to seeing all of you in my next video. Bye!